Hey everybody, Darren Cross here. Welcome to Module 2 of Business 400, Driving Business Opportunities. So last week we talked about Blue Ocean Strategy and Innovation. That was laying the groundwork for what we're going to be doing over the course of the 8 weeks in this class, okay? This week we're digging in a little bit more deeply. So you introduced your product and your blog, and now we're going to keep developing this, and this is going to be the theme as we go out. But specifically this week, what we're going to be hitting are the following learning objectives. So we're going to compare revenue increases to current revenue in percentages. We're going to look at financial statements over the course of a couple of years so that we can determine financial trends. It's going to be something that's very important if you are going to have anything to say or be any kind of a thought leader in business at all, even inside of your own organization. We're going to assess the likelihood of a project yielding profitability. When we are making decisions to put products, services, or new projects out there, we need to look at the likelihood that we think it's going to make money or add to the money that we're already making. And so we're going to look at how to evaluate market opportunities from the standpoint of the market side and the financial side. We're going to develop a unique value proposition by revisiting the Blue Ocean strategy. So remember, it's all about Blue Ocean and innovation. It's all about redefining the markets. And you already started talking about your unique value proposition, but we are going to dig in more deeply this week because the thing is, I want you to hone that value proposition and get it tight now. I really wanted you to do that in the first module, but it's going to take a couple of weeks just to get it honed in. The idea is that I want you to have a succinct statement about what the value is that you're proposing for your customers. The goal is right there in the definition, value proposition. What value do you propose? And remember, value is in the eyes of the customer. What extra benefit, not just we're doing this thing for them, what extra thing are we providing them that makes them say, that shows up as a benefit for me? That's why I'm going to choose this company over this company, okay? So we're going to dig in. I'm going to help you with some additional resources. I'm going to provide you some videos to show you how to look at value proposition more deeply, how to actually evaluate market opportunities. I think that it's really going to help to shore up these concepts, okay? So what I want to do now is dig into the assignments that we're going to have. So you started with your project in Module 1, and now we're going to continue on with that project by doing the Module 2 assignment, which is a project outline, okay? So looking into the prompts here, I want to go over the prompts so that you know exactly what I'm looking for. The first thing is I want you, so the prompt is actually here, and it gives you some language on what we're doing. But I want you to understand that there is a template here that I want you to actually download and use, okay? So when we look at the template, this is what it's actually about, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to keep this exactly the same, except you're going to just change the stuff in brackets, right? So put the name of your company here, put your name, and then as we go through, you just replace this stuff that's in brackets with your information, all right? So let's go over this stuff, and I'll go back and forth between the prompt and this template. So the first thing here is about. This is a summary, 1 paragraph, 3 to 5 sentence summary about your product. Don't get off in the weeds. Just exactly recap what your project is. My project, remember that template that I provided you in Module 1? My project my product is a blank that does this for this group of people. Other products offer this or serve this need or, solve this problem, but mine is different because. That's really all you want to do. Use that template, that format that I gave you in Module 1 to say succinct. What are your goals with the project? So what are the things that you're trying to do with the project, both internally and externally? Don't get off in the weeds with this either. You could just this could literally be just a list of 4 or 5 goals, okay? So you can do bullet points or a list or a numbered list or something like that. Then we get into the target customer. So let's now go back to the prompt. So this says the intended customer. That's the same thing, the target customer. Describe the intended customer or customer profile for a new product, for your new product or service. So here's the thing. This is what I want you to understand. I'm going to give you a video that helps you think about your target market as well. In the world of business and marketing, of course, we want everyone to buy our product. But the reason why we go into the process of segmenting is to try to understand who is more likely to buy our product. So, when I coach chiropractors, I say, who is your intended customer? And they say, anybody with a spine. Well, that's not necessarily true. Of course, we want to serve everyone. But the thing is, who are the people who are likely to want your service? And so you have to go through what's called the STP process, segmentation, targeting, and positioning process. And what you're really saying is you're looking at all of the different groups of people who would use your product, and they're in different groups because they would use your product differently, okay? So what we do is we say, let's look at motorcycles. So not all motorcycles are the same, and not all motorcycle buyers are the same. If you think about a person who rides motorcycles, you might have an image in your head of what that person looks like, but there are other groups of people who are completely different. And because they are looking at the product for a certain need, the way that you're going to approach them is going to be different. So when you look at motorcycles, there are what we might consider bikers, right? So we see the movies of the bikers who are all at a bar, and they all have long beards and bandanas and the jean jacket vest with the colors on the back, right? And someone's always knocking over their bikes and pissing them off. So that's definitely a group. You have the group of people who maybe they race motocross, and so the motorcycles that they buy are different. Maybe you have the people who are just midlife crisis and they want to go for a ride on Sundays. That's a whole different thing. What about the crotch rocket guys, the guys who want the Kiyosaki's and the I don't even know I don't know. My brother had one. The Kamasaki's or Kawasaki. I don't know the names of these, but anyway, these are the ones that want to race real fast, and they do street racing and all of this stuff. So these people are different. The age group is different. What they're looking for is different, and that's the key. They have similar needs within the group, but their needs vary differently from the other groups. And that's what you're really trying to look at. And you're describing people from the standpoint. So you'll say, these are the Sunday riders. These are the Harley people. These are the commuters, right? That's how you want to actually define them. And we're only going to hone in on one, because each marketing campaign is focused on one segment. And that's the targeting process. So there's the segmentation. The targeting process is saying, okay, I'm selecting one of these segments. And then the positioning is the value proposition that you add. So what are you proposing to do for that group of people? So long-winded explanation, but what are we really saying here? I don't want you to say this is for people who want to save money. I want you to dig in a little bit more deeply, because we are really looking at a profile here, right? So what you're trying to do is you're trying to say, okay, think about all of the groups of people who might use this product. They use the product that you're talking about differently, maybe. If there aren't different segments, okay, then hone in on a definition of who your target really is. What are the needs that they're after? And here's what you're trying to describe here. What are the needs that they have? And then you're going to go into the dimensions of your target market. What are the demographics? And it's not only about demographics. Demographics is just one dimension of your target market. I hate how marketing classes teach this traditionally, because people think that they're targeting by targeting only demographics. So we're going after the 18 to 34 male market. There's no such thing as an 18 to 34 male market. That's a demographic, but what are you selling? That's the market. Are you selling hamburgers or are you selling motorcycles? So that might be a way to describe your market, but that's only one way. Another way is psychographics. What is the belief system? What is the value system? What is your customer's attitude towards life and towards your product, towards the need that they're trying to get settled? Are they aggressive about trying to meet that need, or are they passive? Do they tend to gather in groups to actually use this product, or are they loners? Do they have social attitudes about this product or about other things that might influence your product? So you're trying to get a glimpse into the psychology of your buyer. Okay. And then there's geographics. Is there something specific about, are these people who maybe live near a beach? Are these people who live in the mountains? Do they live in the Pacific Northwest? You don't have to describe things by geography if your product really doesn't really warrant that, but sometimes it does, right? So if you're talking about, I can give you an example. When I was in the Navy, I was on the eastern seaboard. I lived in Virginia Beach, and I was talking to my friend who was born and raised on the eastern seaboard. He's one of those guys that goes out in big fishing boats and fishes in the ocean. And I said, I'm in the mood for seafood. And he was like, me too. Where you want to go? I said Red Lobster. I'm from the Midwest. To me, Red Lobster is like, that's where you have the wedding dinner. I mean, that's fancy for me. And he was like, don't ever say that again. That is not seafood. I'm not going to dignify that because that's not seafood. So the concept of seafood varies from place to place, right? And then you have behavioral elements. How do people actually behave around your product? Are they bulk buyers? Do they buy just one at a time? How do they use the product? Are they heavy on the product, or are they light users? What are their buying patterns and spending patterns and usage patterns? That's what we're trying to understand. How long do they shop for something? Do they really need a lot of information, or do they buy quickly? So all of these things go into your intended customer. The way to make it quick is to say, hey, the way to make this succinct is to say, my customer is this group of people who are using this product for this reason. They tend to be in this demographic range, so 18 to 34. If marital status matters, if religion matters, if age matters, if those things matter, then absolutely describe it. You do not have to go into detail. Just say what those demographics are. Then you say they tend to value this, and they are, indifferent about these items. If there's a geographical thing, then say it. They might live in the Pacific Northwest, so they might be near the oceans, or they might be, in the mountains or something like that. And then behavioral patterns. They tend to buy in bulk. They tend to need a lot of information. The process tends to be long for them to buy this type of product. You can describe this in a couple of paragraphs, and you should be good. Then you want to go to opportunities in the market. Here's the point of opportunities in the market, and this is on the template as well. So it says market opportunity. That's what we're really saying, opportunities in the market. So what are we really saying here? We're really saying, what is it that's outside of our company, not just our gut feeling, but what is it that's out there that makes us think that there's a demand for this product? Now, I provided you a video that you can look at in order to kind of get your brain wrapped around how to be thinking about this. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to say, I think there's a market for this. So what you're looking at is in the external world, you're saying, there are a certain number of people who are doing this. And these people have this need. And this type of product would really serve that need. So, it looks like, and you don't have to be super specific here. You can just draw those inferences. You can say, there's a whole bunch of people. You want to get as specific as you can with the general market, right? So if you're selling like an app for an iPhone, you can say, there are X number of iPhone users, and 10% of them are health enthusiasts. So they might be interested in the type of product that I have. See, now you're trying to evaluate this a little bit. So if 10% of, 100 million users is 10 million users, then you could say that's my potential market. So now in your brain, you're looking at, what the potential market is, and you go to the next part, right? So the financial opportunity, which is, okay, so if there are 10 million potential users out there, and my product costs $5 a month, now we know that there's a potential for $50 million a month. So that's how you evaluate aggregately. You're going to need more detail, of course, if you're trying to convince the C-suite of something, but that's the general way that you approach this, and that's what you really want to do in the opportunities in the market and the financial opportunity. Okay? But what we're looking for here is we want you to make the case that this is a good product. going back to the template, after you've talked about the market opportunity and the financial opportunity, talk about the timeline for getting your project out, okay? And again, be very, very succinct and to the point. Do not get off in the weeds on details that do not relate to what the questions that we're trying to get answered. It's an urge that many students have to just really, really talk about their product and over and say it in different ways and try to make a case. We want to be succinct and right to the point with everything that we do in this course, okay? Remember, you're trying to communicate this to people who you want to be interested in your product, in your project. So the thing is, you just want to be super succinct, all right? So that's the outline. The other thing that we want to do in this course, or in this module, is we want to begin the first Harvard Business Review simulation. So what you're going to do is you're going to click into the simulation and you're going to actually just make decisions on the basis of what you think are the best courses of action, and then you're going to write a journal about it, okay? Now, again, this is what I want you to do. I want you to use that template to stay focused with an APA formatted focus for everything that you write down. And this is an assignment that is a written assignment, so you want to do that. And here's what you're going to do. Your headings are going to be these three elements of the prompt for this module. And let's talk about what we're really looking for. And I want you to use direct language. So put these on your paper. This is a heading, this is a heading, this is a heading. And use direct language. So the first part is value creation and competitive advantage. How do you think the company did regarding value creation and gaining a competitive advantage across generations? We want to address every element of this, okay? We're not just saying, and remember, you're not going to do a simple answer. You're going to explain everything. You're not going to say, they did good. We want to actually hit each element of this, okay? So how do you think the company did regarding value creation and gaining a competitive advantage across generations? What are we asking? We're saying, when you look at this company, they wanted to create value. What does it mean to create value? What they're meaning is, what is the value that they created for their actual, for the company as well as their customer? So how are they providing value to their customer? How do they continue to provide value? Not just, it's not going to be good enough just to say they did great at providing value. You need to say they did a good job providing value. They did this, they did this, they did this, and it continued on throughout generations, because that is the element here. Across generations, that's what we're after. So you want to say they did a good job, or I don't think they did a good job at creating value across the generations, and this is why. Then you want to hit this element, and these might be subheadings, right? Or different paragraphs. The company did a good job gaining a competitive advantage. So you want to talk about how they put themselves in a position that was better than their competition, but not just once, across generations, okay? Use direct language to address this. I think the company did a good job creating value in this way. Okay, so use the direct language. Then you want to go to the thought process. Did you think differently while you made your decisions in the simulation? Explain why or why not. What does it mean to think differently? What we're saying is, did you think with an innovative mindset? Were you thinking, how do I create value throughout the process? So you could say, when you have thought process, you could say, I do think that I was thinking differently. Here's why. Or I don't think I was, it doesn't matter. I just want you to be honest here. This is a journal, but I do want you to address these things. So if you say, I wasn't thinking differently, I'm not going to say, oh, wrong answer. How you were thinking is how you were thinking, but I want you to be honest, and I want you to use direct language. I do think I was thinking differently during the simulation because blah, 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 blah. Or I don't think that I was thinking differently through the simulation because of this, okay? And finally, discovery. What have you discovered or learned after completing the first round of the simulation? This is easy. You can say, after completing the first round of this simulation, I discovered blah, and it could be one paragraph, or I learned blah. And again, I don't care what you discovered or learned. I just want to know that you're hitting this. This is a gimme assignment. Everyone should be getting 100% of these points. All you got to do is use direct language to answer these questions. Now, here's the thing. Somebody is going to turn in this assignment, and there's not going to be any headings on this, and I'm going to be trying to figure out if what you really are saying on here is addressing anything. So I'm trying to find the words that you're saying, and that kind of means, that's kind of around creating value. Make it easy on me, and it's going to make it easy on you. Put the headings, use these. I know I'm demonstrative. It's not that I'm mad or anything like that. It's just that I want you to understand. We're not in class together, so I want you to understand how important this is. This is an easy way to get all of your points. Put these prompts as headings on your paper. Use the APA template. Just change it to put these prompts there. And then answer the questions. How do you think the company did regarding value creation across generations? I think the company did poorly creating value across generations because of this. Next paragraph. The company did a good job gaining a competitive advantage across generations in this way. And then talk about how they did across generations. So talk about how this phenomenon existed or did not exist as the company changed hands across generations. Thought process. Did you think differently? I did think differently. Here's why. I did not think differently because use that direct language. Discovery. What have you discovered or learned after completing the first round of the simulation? After the first round of simulation, I discovered this. I learned this. I mean, this is like 5 paragraphs, and it should be direct to the point, okay? You do those things, and you're going to be in good shape on this assignment, okay? So that's all that we're doing this module. But if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me. The easiest thing to do is to actually text me. I provided my contact information. Text me. Let me know who you are. Let me know what your problem is, and we can talk about it there, or maybe have another conversation. You can email me. It's just that I get to the text faster, and it doesn't matter when you text me. If I'm up, I will actually address it, but I don't want you to be sitting there stranded. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. Good luck this week.